right, people, we're ready to go. Let's start the new adventure today in this beautiful, beautiful place. Let's get started. Today we decided at the last minute for a forest not far from Mexico City. But not just any forest. This forest is temporary home of the Monarch butterfly. This species travels every year at this time of year from Canada to this specific point in Mexico. In the month of April, in the middle of spring, the cycle begins. The great-grandmother of the wonderful monarch butterfly between northern Mexico and the southern United States is born. A week after an egg was laid on a very specific plant, the larva comes out and it eats the shell of the egg from which it was born first, and then continues eating the leaves of the plant where it was born, until it gains about 3,000 times its original weight. It stops being a caterpillar to become a chrysalis, or pupa or cocoon. Then the green cocoon, which also serves as camouflage against predators, gradually becomes transparent, allowing the content of the cocoon to be seen. Ten days later, it has already turned into a butterfly. However, it still cannot fly. His wings are wet and wrinkled, not to mention that they are still too short. Its abdomen is very thick due to the high content of blood, or hemolymph, which will gradually be sent through its veins to its wings to strengthen them. Once her wings are fully extended, and this phase is complete, she has to wait about 2 hours for her wings to dry completely, and then she's ready for her first flight. Okay, so we've been on this trail for about 15 minutes now, and we're dying already. It's hard. We're gonna make it though. I mean, it's just a matter of time and will, but we're almost there.
That's right, 44 minutes.
44 minutes. 45. From its beginning as an egg until it becomes a butterfly, it takes about a month. Afterwards, it reproduces and flies towards the north of the United States, reaching as far as the central part of the US. She lays about 400 eggs and only lays her eggs on a plant called milkweed, which is poisonous to most of its predators. Feeding on this plant helps to protect itself, as well as its colors that, apart from being beautiful, are a very clear warning for most of its predators. The second generation is born, the grandmother of the super butterfly. Once developed, it will continue on its way to the north of the United States, near the Great Lakes between the United States and Canada. Before dying, they lay their eggs, and here the third generation is born, the parents of the super butterfly. They also live for about a month, and before they die, they lay their eggs, and this is the fourth generation, or the Methuselah generation. They live up to 9 months. We are in butterfly land. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. This super butterfly is the Migratory Generation, almost 3,000 miles. They are not sexually mature from birth, not until the 7th month. The other generations are born sexually mature and can mate immediately. In fact, they must. Before autumn arrives, the monarch takes flight, a trip that will last about 2 months of continuous flight, about 100 kilometers daily on average. They take advantage of air currents. They have to feed on the sugar from the nectar of the flowers every single day. And very important, they only travel during the day. The sun is their main guide to get to Mexico. how do they know where they're going? Their antennae have an internal clock that tells them the time, and with their eyes, they can tell at what angle of the horizon the sun is. In the event that the day is cloudy, butterflies use the intensity of the Earth's magnetic field as a secondary system to guide themselves. They arrive in central Mexico at the end of October and the beginning of November. It is the largest monarch butterfly conservation area on the planet. The tree of choice for the monarch is the oyamel. It is leafy and protects her from the sun and the elements. During the colder months, they hibernate. In February, they resume flights. They are very hungry and thirsty. They have spent several months without eating. They have to replenish energy, and finally their sexual organs mature, and it is time to reproduce. The male has two small spots on the upper part of its wings that distinguish it, and the female has thicker black wing veins. Once the male has mated, he dies. Thanks to the arrival of the monarch butterfly, many families have financial support because these sanctuaries employ many people from the community. In March, the monarch butterfly flies back north, where after almost 9 months of life, it will arrive in the southern part of the United States, where before dying, it will lay its eggs and begin the cycle again. The question is, how do they know where to go if they have never been there before? Let's remember that 3 generations have passed since the last time that the monarch's great-grandmother was in the forest of Mexico, and yet they returned to practically the exact same spot. Well, the answer to this question is not known for sure, but it is believed that they are already born with that genetic information in their DNA. The millions of butterflies that have died in the sanctuary and along the way serve as a trail for those that come back. It is believed that they have a mechanism that perceives dead butterflies and they're guided by it. This is why it is always recommended not to take butterflies neither alive nor dead. The amazing spectacle caused by the millions of monarch butterflies arriving in Mexico each winter is not only wonderful to witness, but it is also important for entire ecosystems. This insect is essential to pollinate countless species of wildflowers that are found on its migratory route. It is a living being that barely weighs, and yet its existence is very heavy. The natural phenomena of monarch migration fascinates thousands of visitors, but not only is it a tourist attraction, but the butterflies are indispensable because they help farmers in the region by pollinating their plants. Monarch butterflies, which weigh just half a gram, are extremely important due to their abilities that far exceed those of any technological ingenuity. They have antennae equipped with advanced sensors. Its wings have a sophisticated chemical defense system. Its characteristic orange and black pattern results from the interaction of light with the microscopic scales on their wings. All this helps the delicate butterflies pass the annual acid test of traveling almost 3,000 miles from Canada to Mexico to hibernate. The Monarch Butterfly Sanctuary in the Mexican Highlands is a secret of nature discovered only a few decades ago, thanks to an experiment that today would be called citizen science. Whoever found a monarch had to put delicately a very light mark that said, "Sent to University of Toronto, Canada." Over 35 years, thousands of people have tagged butterflies with the intention of following them on their journey. Sure enough, the researchers received many tagged butterflies from surprised and enthusiastic senders of all ages. The various remitters contributed to progressively closing the circle of migration to Mexico. And in 1976, the answer came. 2 collaborators guided the researchers to a fir forest covered with monarch butterflies located in Cerro Pelón, Estado de México. There, the evidence that confirmed the finding was found. A butterfly that had been tagged thousands of miles further north. No other such long migration is known in insects. Monarch butterflies find in the Mexican forest the ideal conditions to develop and mate: altitude, temperature, humidity, and exposure to sunlight, among others. So we're on our way back. We made it. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun.
2 hours.
About 2 hours. It was absolutely recommended.
Definitely.
Yeah. We made it good. We're alive. And that's what really matters. So, good. It was a good adventure. These kinds of experiences are hidden wonders of the world and have heightened my appreciation for my time in this planet.